The other thing that I want to be able to say to my grandchildren is that you should inherit a better standard of living than my generation and your mum and dad's generation. Right now, they are set to inherit the worst standard of living since the Second World War.
Tell us what you really think, Sussan Ley. Katina, what were your big takeaways from Opposition Leader Sussan Ley's media appearance today?
The Liberals have said they don't want to set any targets for Australia's emissions reductions, but they've still promised that they will continue to cut emissions year on year whenever they get into government. And they have also promised that they'll bring power bills down. In fact, Sussan Ley said she would put bringing power bills down as her primary ambition above everything else. And she basically said, if anyone in Paris or some United Nations organisation doesn't like that, well, then I can live with it. But what is really unclear from these two commitments today to continue cutting emissions and bring down power bills is how they're actually going to do that and when they're going to do that. So basically what they've said is they're going to pretty much dismantle all the structures that are in place at the moment to give investors the certainty to invest in renewable energy and the types of technology that do actually help, cut emissions or store emissions or, offset things, but they're still promising that they're going to bring down emissions. They have also said that they will give taxpayer underwriting to new coal and gas power plants. They have stopped short of saying we in government would build nuclear power plants, but they are talking about nuclear being part of the mix going down the track. So it's in some ways it's a pretty big policy announcement, but there's not a lot of flesh on the bone here. And the key thing I think is, Sussan Ley is really saying Anthony Albanese lied to you when he said your power bills will come down. When will they come down, Mr. Prime Minister? But she couldn't answer when power bills would come down under her policy when the same question was put to her.
More than 11,000 people died during the brutal 4-year siege of Sarajevo during the Bosnian War in the 90s. But now Italian authorities are investigating if some of those people were killed by tourists on so-called sniper safaris. The Milan prosecutor's office made the bombshell announcement it's investigating allegations that cashed-up foreigners paid tens of thousands of dollars to shoot civilians as they attempted to escape Sarajevo. It's alleged the weekend snipers came from not just Italy, but the US, Russia and other countries, and paid Serbian forces for the chance to hunt fellow humans. Similar allegations about human hunters from abroad have been made several times over the years, but this latest one is based on alleged evidence gathered by Italian journalist and novelist Ezio Gavazzeni. Gavazzeni claims he has testimony from a Bosnian military intelligence officer and that sniper tourists would pay as much as €100,000 for a weekend hunt. However, members of the British military that served in and around Sarajevo during the conflict have thrown cold water on the claims, calling it an urban myth.